The battle starts. Umar ibn Sa'd advanced and fired an arrow at Hussein ibn Ali's army, saying, "Give evidence before the governor that I was the first thrower." Ibn Sa'd's army started showering Hussein's army with arrows. Hardly any men from Hussein ibn Ali's army escaped from being shot by an arrow. Both sides began fighting. The first skirmish was between the right flank of Imam Hussein's army with the left of the Sham army. A couple of dozens men under the command of Zohair ibn Kane fought heroically and repulsed the initial infantry attack, and in the process destroyed the left flank of the Sham army, which in disarray collided with the middle of the army. Seeing this, the Sham army quickly retreated and broke the pre-war verbal agreement of not using arrows and lances. This agreement was made in view of the small number of Hussein ibn Ali's companions. Umar ibn Sa'd, on advice of Umar ibn al-Hajjaj, ordered his army not to come out for any duel, and to attack Hussein ibn Ali's army together. Umar ibn al-Hajjaj attacked Hussein ibn Ali's right wing, but the men were able to maintain their ground, kneeling down as they planted their lances. They were thus able to frighten the enemy's horses. When the horsemen came back to charge at them again, Hussein's men met them with their arrows, killing some of them and wounding others. Umar ibn al-Hajjaj kept saying the following to his men: "Fight those who abandoned their creed, and who deserted the Jemaah." Hearing him say so, Hussein ibn Ali said to him, "Woe unto you, O Umar! Are you really instigating people to fight me? Are we really the ones who abandoned their creed while you yourself uphold it? As soon as our souls part from our bodies, you will find out who is most worthy of entering the fire." In order to prevent random and indiscriminate showering of arrows on Hussein ibn Ali's camp, which had women and children in it, Hussein's followers went out to single combats. Men like Barayr ibn Qadar, Muslim ibn Ozajar, and Habib ibn Mozahir were slain in the fighting. They were attempting to save Hussein's life by shielding him. Every casualty had a considerable effect on their military strength, since they were vastly outnumbered by Yazid's army. Hussein's companions were coming, one by one, to say goodbye to him, even in the midst of battle. Almost all of Hussein's companions were killed by the onslaught of arrows or lances. After almost all of Hussein's companions were killed, his relatives asked his permission to fight. The men of Banu Hashim, the clan of Muhammad and Ali, went out one by one. Ali al-Akbar ibn Hussein, the middle son of Hussein ibn Ali, was the first one of Hashemite who received permission from his father. Casualties from Banu Hashim were sons of Ali ibn Abi Talib, sons of Hasan ibn Ali, a son of Hussein ibn Ali, a son of Abdullah ibn Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, and Zainab bint Ali, sons of Aqil ibn Abi Talib, as well as a son of Muslim ibn Aqil. There were 72 Hashemites dead in all, including Hussein ibn Ali. Death of Abbas ibn Ali. Al-Abbas ibn Ali advanced towards Al-Furat branch along a dike. Abbas ibn Ali continued his advance into the heart of Ibn Sa'd's army. He was under heavy shower of arrows, but was able to penetrate them and get to the branch, leaving heavy casualties from the enemy. He immediately started filling the water skin, in a remarkable and immortal gesture of loyalty to his brother and Muhammad's grandson. He did not drink any water despite being severely thirsty. He put the water skin on his right shoulder and started riding back toward their tents. Umar ibn Sa'd ordered an outright assault on Abbas ibn Ali, saying that if Abbas ibn Ali succeeds in taking water back to his camp, we will not be able to defeat them till the end of time. A massive enemy army blocked his way and surrounded him. He was ambushed from behind a bush, and his right arm was cut off. Abbas ibn Ali put the water skin on his left shoulder and continued his way, but his left arm was also cut off. Abbas ibn Ali now held the water skin with his teeth. The army of Ibn Sa'd started shooting arrows at him. One arrow hit the water skin and water poured out of it. Now he turned his horse back towards the army and charged towards them, but one arrow hit his eyes. and someone hit a goes on his head, and he fell off the horse. In his last moments, when Abbas ibn Ali was wiping the blood in his eyes to enable him to see Hussein's face, Abbas ibn Ali said not to take his body back to the camps because he had promised to bring back water but could not, and so could not face Bibi Sokaina, the daughter of Hussein ibn Ali. Then he called Imam Hussein brother. For the first time in his life before the death of Abbas, Hussein ibn Ali said, "Abbas, your death is like the breaking of my back." Death of Hussein ibn Ali. Hussein ibn Ali told Yazid's army to offer him single battle, and they gave his request. He killed everybody that fought him in single battles. He frequently forced his enemy into retreat, killing a great number of opponents. Hussein and earlier his son Hazrat Ali Akbar were the two warriors who penetrated and dispersed the core of Ibn Sa'd's army, Kalbi Lashkar, a sign of extreme chaos in traditional warfare. Imam Hussein advanced very deep in the back ranks of the Sham army. When the enemies stood between him and the tents, he shouted, "Woe betide you, O followers of Abu Sufyan's dynasty! If no religion has ever been accepted by you, and you have not been fearing the resurrection day, then be noble in your world, that's if you are Arabs as you claim." Then his enemies invaded back towards him. They continuously attacked each other. Until his numerous injuries caused him to stay a moment. At this time he was hit on his forehead with a stone. He was cleaning blood from his face, while he was hit on the heart with arrow, and he said, "In the name of Allah, and by Allah, and on the religion of the Messenger of Allah." Then he raised his head up and said, "Oh my God! You know that they are killing a man, that there is son of daughter of a prophet on the earth except him." He then grasped and pulled the arrow out of his chest, which caused heavy bleeding. He became very weak and stopped fighting. The soldiers approaching him gave up confrontation, seeing his position. One soldier, however, walked up to Imam Hussein and hit him on his head with his sword. The enemies hesitated to fight Imam Hussein, but they decided to surround him. At this time Abdullah ibn Hazan, an underage boy, escaped from the tents and ran to Hussein. When a soldier intended to slay Hussein, Abdullah ibn Hazan defended his uncle with his arm, which was cut off. Imam Hussein hugged Abdullah, but the boy was already hit by an arrow. Imam Hussein got on his horse and tried to leave, but Yazid's army continued pursuit. According to tradition, a voice came from skies stating, "We are satisfied with your deeds and sacrifices." Hussein then sheathed his sword and tried to get down from the horse but was tremendously injured, and so the horse let him down. He then sat against a tree. Umar ibn Sa'd ordered to finish the job. While Imam Hussein was taking rest against the tree, Shimr knew that Imam Hussein was unable to fight, and sent one of his men to go and kill him. The man went, and seeing Imam Hussein's eyes, he got extremely scared and ran back to his camp. When Shimr asked why he had not killed Imam Hussein, the man replied that looking into his eyes, he saw Prophet Muhammad. Angrily, Shimr sent another man. This one was so frightened that he dropped his sword and ran back to his camp. This time when Lanti Shimr asked him why he had not killed him, he said he saw into his eyes and saw the angry look of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Shimr was angry, said that he would have to do it himself. And wearing his armor, he went to where Imam Hussein was. Using his iron boots, he kicked Imam Hussein in the ribs. Imam Hussein fell to the ground, when Shimr disrespected, and sat on top of him. Just before his throat was about to be cut, Imam Hussein asked Shimr ibn Dil-Jawshan, "Have you done your prayers today?" And this shocked Shimr, because he did not expect anyone in the position of Hussein to ask about such a question. Using a blunt knife, he rugged 12 times against Imam Hussein's throat. While his head was on the ground, Shimr removed his head from his body. Lanti Shimr ibn Dil-Jawshan was saying, I swear by God that I am raising your head, while I know that you are grandson of the Messenger of Allah, and the best of the people by father and mother. When he raised head of Hussein ibn Ali on a spear, the Ibn Sad's men looted all the valuables from Hussein's body. The army of Ibn Sad rushed to loot the tents. The daughters of Muhammad's family were expelled from the tents, unveiled and barefooted, while weeping and crying for their slain relatives. The army set all the tents on fire. The women were asking, "By Allah, will you make us pass the sight of the murder of Hussein?" And when they saw the martyrs and wailed, then Sukaina bint Hussein embraced her father's body until some people dragged her away. Umar ibn Sa'd called volunteering horsemen to trample Imam Hussein's body. 10 horsemen trampled his body such that his chest and back were ground. Traditionally, it is believed that Imam Hussein's body was martyred, but his nur, light, and imamat were passed on to his son Ali, who became Imam Ali. Zain al-Abidin, Sahifa al-Sajadiyya, is a collection of his supplications.